something caught my eye. I'm watching this video on economics, and this was uploaded 2 months ago, but let's watch it.
Have to work through the
Now we have $30 trillion that we have to work through the economy. And people are like in denial about it. They don't even care. It's like, you don't care if you're denial about that. Go about your life.
economy, a recession we have to overcome, a war we need to end, and people all of a sudden assume that 2 or 3 rate hikes and 5 or 6 months of headlines are enough. And on the margin, maybe they're right. But from my perspective, it's an observation that we're at the beginning of something that just fundamentally has to take some amount of time to work its way through the system. And so,
is this what they were talking about, the Great Restart? I heard that going around like a year and a half ago. Is this what they're talking about? Like just world economy, just a restart? Not a recession, but something else?
I don't understand why anybody would give up their liquidity in this moment right now. Why would you? Why would I give up $100 million of cash in my bank account? I would not do that right now.
The people in Russia are suffering during this. The people in Ukraine are being murdered. I mean, how does it end?
The problem is that Biden engaged the United States in a proxy war without a real explicit discussion, number one. And then number two is then we pulled and we pressured Europe to really draw a hard line, but then now are kind of working around.
I just don't understand what anyone would sanction like Russia, even Europe. The thing with Ukraine, is it really about Ukraine? Is that what it is? Or Russia power? You don't want to buy oil or gas from them. I mean, what do you think? They're going to... People think, well, they're probably going to business, but they could do all this stuff. They have a lot of land.
So that the countries that suffer the most are Europe. Now, I think you're starting to see the tea leaves, though. Last week, there was a group of...
I'm not putting out the obvious, but I remember back in my day, I remember my grandparents were like, oh, yeah, someone that has a lot of land is basically rich. They don't even know it. Something to that effect. Now they can build condos and Walmart on it or Amazon warehouse. It's not even that. That's a loss.
Of European leaders, I think it was Macron, Draghi, and one other person who went to Ukraine. And if I had to bet, I think the message was we need to find an organized detente here because there is, according to Europe, a Lehman-like situation in terms of economic contagion that could manifest over the next months. So I think that the end game is probably some organized...
I just don't understand where this idea comes, like, we have to knock Russia off as a superpower or China's gaining on us. Us how? You're you're in debt and you don't do anything about it. All you do is perpetuate nonsense on other people. Including someone like me. You're clearly not in it for survival, are you?
Negotiated detente and ceasefire. I don't think anybody will be happy with it, but I think by and large Russia is and has won. Meaning they've won economically.
No, so it's like, how did they win? They won because they didn't go bankrupt. Like, why would you prey on a country? There's people that probably, just want to get, a lot of it just want to get by. It's like, what is this? And is this guy a world leader? Day one? This is not a game of checkers, buddy.
They're selling oil like it's not going out of style. It's just not selling it to Europe and to America.
I'm against selling oil, period, as far as, we could do something else with that. I understand that there's cars because we need to combat that. For right now, it exists, but it's just, well, they're selling oil. Let them sell oil. It's like, and then they say something else, like, United States should be the only one that controls the oil reserve and oil production. And, like, who are you? Who do you think you are? This is not your world. You weren't here a couple hundred years ago. You just evolved to this prick. I don't want to get angry at this. Just like, ours versus them. It's different people from a different invisible line. And they have lives and stuff. Who do you think you are?
America, they're selling it to China, they're selling it to Africa, they're selling it to India. We engaged in economic sanctions, and I was the first one to say, hey, this could really work. And
maybe not so much South America. South America has, I believe Venezuela has some oils as well. But, all right, there's some oil. So basically, you're praying on Russia to go bankrupt. You know what could have happened?
This could be a roadmap for how to do it. And it turned out this is the roadmap for how not to do it. You can't, on the front door, say, here are these...
So basically, these people just want to apply sanctions, and they're just like, oh, it backfired. Oops, right? That's really what he's talking about. And he's getting real upset that a country, or maybe, let's say Russia went bankrupt, let's say it's the global economy, how many other countries would have went bankrupt, would have suffered? How many people would have died?
These sanctions, and then walk around the back door and basically open the door for them. These sanctions were so porous as to be like Swiss cheese. We focused on virtue signaling acts, confiscating a plane or a boat or a house, but we didn't.
I just don't see how, like, someone like Russia would. Is it a nuclear war we're going through? Is it a war we're going through with Russia? I'm not saying NATO instigated that, I kind of felt like NATO had something a lot to do with the impression of Russia and like building these borders where you could have just had peace and better relations to begin with. It's not just about Russia. It's about this if you put sanctions on countries. I mean, I kind of thought, who knows what they would do because of that. And you think you think they survived and what? You're shocked?
Focus on the structural things we needed to actually make the mandate that we believe to be just to come to life. And so Russia's completely worked around it. Their economy effectively is thriving. So what have we gained? It was the exact opposite of what we tried to do. Russia's current
exact opposite of what we tried to do. It says Russia's current. Let me hear him say it.
Account surplus more than tripled in the first 4 months of the year.
I don't know. And China, Africa give a lot more money. Maybe we'll give oil. We'll build up your influence. We'll help you with this, and that. Maybe they're doing a little business. What do you think? You're the only guy in town?
Prices surged for oil and gas imports, and imports plunged under the weight of sanctions. Well, if you're Putin and you're looking at this, you're like, wow, maybe I should be under sanctions more often. What country should I invade next? So not only did our sanctions package not work, and not only is the treasury flailing around now trying to find even more backdoors, we actually opened a very dangerous precedent, which is now we allowed oil to settle in currencies that are not just the United States dollar. And now...
So currencies that are not just the U.S. dollar. Everything is about you and your dollar. Everything's about that dollar, isn't it? Everything's about money, money, money. There's other people that you have the right to trade oil in their currency, and you don't run the world. Just because you have a machine gun doesn't mean anything. The pen is mighty the sword there, little fella. And it's like there's a lot of people like that. Just leave those people freaking alone, man. Why don't you just take care of yourself? We have so much land. We can do so many things. All we care about is just war machines and and the stock market. And you throw money in the stock market, and then it backfires, and you're like, well, we didn't know that. We knew that, but we didn't know that. Why don't you just go 100% on it and just create a better economy that's sustainable instead of depending on controlling everything.
Russia and China are trading and settling in CNY. That's not good for us. This is not how you preserve the reserve currency of America. If you have a country that has existed in some way, shape, or form.
And also, why would you care about currency of freaking America? I kind of even care about it. You know what I care about? I don't know, just surviving. If you have a land, you can survive. All you gotta do is have a mind and a brain and, a backbone, not be a coward. You're a coward.
The borders could be blurry, but roughly, for hundreds and hundreds of years, and in some cases thousands of years, where internally,
Honestly, I'd like to get rid of this. This is metal. This is, I'd like to get rid of some of these buildings, just make it a little bit better. Make it cleaner without you people. So if I don't live in violence, you would probably been violent. You're vile. You're a suit and tie person. You're paper pushing. And everyone's gonna be conformed to you and your little brain, your degree, and whatever you believe in. Like you can't even do half the stuff that these people probably do. You're not that special.
Population.
I know you've been already told that, but it's your arrogance, and not just them. There's a lot of people like that. Just they're from this country. They think they don't even know culture. They don't understand anything like that. They're not respectful, and just think you could just own everything.
That country views themselves, in a great way. They don't feel like their country is a meaningless nothing country. Any attempt.
They don't think like their country is a meaningless nothing country. Well, look at your fucking country and all the pollution and nonsense. You're a part of China. You pollute as well. I could go to the richest neighborhood in New York, Manhattan. I find rats and feces on the street. Go clean up your country. Go in and clean up the fucking gutter, you idiot.
Attempt to economically humiliate such a country tends to have failed in the past and will continue to fail. And
again, you disrupt the fabric of the country. You're disrupting your own fabric, tradition of the world. This could lead to a lot of people starving and dying of your fucking insecurity and your cowardice and your malice. You can't go around disrupting other people's governments just because, they threaten you or they don't like whatever sneakers you have or whatever dumb stuff that you want to possess in your life.
There tends to be other countries who view it as one of these things where, well, if them, then why not us? And then they sort of, in a backhanded way, support everybody. So we end up in this odd situation where we are picking fights we cannot win. And the consequences for us are economically really damaging.
See, it's about picking fights. Sometimes you gotta defend yourself. Why pick fights? Why just leave it alone? Have better trade deals. And not even that. That's foreign politics. That's of course to see politics. There's so many things, practical things we could build here in the States, and it would be cost effective, and we could sustain an economy. We could build an economy. Not worry about other economies. They're hoping other economies fail. It's disgusting, and I'm pretty sure there's a lot of leaders that believe in that. This is why you get in a lot of trouble, even though you survive for like a quarter or something. It doesn't really matter when you don't want to survive for forever.
And then the consequences for everybody else to stay on the sidelines is like economic prosperity. That doesn't make any sense.
Stay on the sidelines. Well, I mean, you stay on the side. I guess you don't get into it. Gonna fight with economic fight. Maybe you'll be better. Oh,
I was warning about the 2008.
Did you ever think about that? That's absolutely ridiculous. Like, who comes up with these people?